Hey there, happy Stamptember. Crystal Thompson here today with a multi-generational layers fall card. What do you mean multi-generational? We have so many layers to create some really cool dimension. We have some acetate, we have foil, we have watercolor, we have beads. We have so many layers that I can't wait to show you how we're making this card with very basic supplies that probably you already have in your craft room. So for Stamptember, we have the Ornate Leaves. This is a brand new release, and these guys are glued together. And as you can see, I have cut these foil from the Ornate Leaves, and then I'm using the stamp set from the Stamptember card kit. It's the Thank You for All Your Sunshine, which I thought was super fun, and I have already stamped and heat embossed in a bronze embossing powder, and we are ready to go with that one. We are also using a piece of watercolor cardstock, 5.5 by 4.25, the Gansai Tambi Starry Night colors, along with the Koi watercolors. So basic watercolors, some gold, and the Ornate Leaves. We are going to begin by creating our watercolor pattern. So grabbing that Koi watercolors, just grabbing some of the olive and a mustard, and I'm trying to be careful not to add too much water to it. And the more water you add, the more is going to dissipate. So you're not going to have such a strong colors. I actually did end up speeding up the process of the drying by bringing in my heat embossing gun and then coming back and adding more of that olive just so it would really come through. With all these layers of these ornate leaves, I felt that it really needed to pop through. However, it still gave that really fun fall colors, you know, with the orange and the olive and of course some of that red. And then I would like to take some time and splatter it just a bit before I clean my brush. And as you can see, I'm using the same brush and just trying to make sure that I get enough color all over the place. And if you don't want too much bleeding, just kind of give it a couple minutes to dry up. Honestly, I sped this up about 1 second just to speed it. So it took me a good 2 or 3 minutes to really create this background. But it would be super easy to do this over and over and over and create several of these cards. So as you can see, it's nice and dried, and I added that one more layer of that olive. So I'm going to come in with my Tambi colors, goodness. And I am using the number 902 red gold along with the 901 blue gold and splattering these over. And then I again sped up the process of this gold drying watercolor with my heat gun. And I felt like this just gave it a little bit of that really cool gold tone that's going to match that foil leaves of the Ornate Leaves. That is a brand new Stamptember release. So again, let it dry or speed it up. Let me show, this is what it looks like once it's dried up. And I already ran my Ornate Leaves through my cutter. So as you can see, I've added some pieces of acetate and some of the foil. And to make it stick without using liquid glue, I ended up using some glue dots that are clear, and so they're all going to be one layers, as you can see, but I wanted that last foil leaf from the Ornate Leaves to kind of be raised up. And so with that being said, I used the back of that Thank You for All Your Sunshine because I had added some foam adhesive to that already. And then I had, you know, the negatives from the Ornate Leaves cut out of foil, and I thought it would be really cool to use these. So I added little pieces of foam in the back, and we're going to place them all around the leaves just to really give it some, you know, more glittery, more gold. And it's a really elegant card. I feel like the acetate makes it look very pretty, not as simple if you just did the ornate leaves in the foil. And then these last two little negative pieces of that die cut, I placed tiny bits of the glue dots, so it's like the mini glue dots, and I'm gonna lift up the one of the layers of acetate and place it right under, and that way you have several layers, and it really just gives it some really cool dimension. So now for our embellishments, I wanted to use sequins and beads. I've always had some beads used for shaker cards, but because there's so many different textures and layers, I'm like, what? How cool would it be if I added some of these beads? So I'm gonna bring in the camera a little bit closer so you can see, and I'm using these little tweezers. And so what I do is I put a glue dot of my Tombow adhesive, and then I touch the end of my tweezers and use that to really grab those little beads. And I'm going to place quite a few of them all over the place. And so be sure that you allow this to dry before you put it in a card. And I would really suggest placing like a piece of tissue paper over it before mailing it if you so desire, and that will protect the little beads. So as you can see, you don't have to use these just for shaker cards. You can really add a ton of different layers to create your card. And guys, that does it for me today, celebrating Stamptember with this first card of multi-generation layers. We got acetate, we got foil, we got watercolor, we got beads, we got heat embossing, so many layers to really finish the whole thing up. And I felt like it really made it look super elegant. So you can see it was really easy. If you pre-cut your leaves, you can make a ton of these cards and mass produce them, and you can totally change the sentiment to say whatever you like. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.